Hey everybody, I'm Suzanne Gundersen from Screenwritenow. I help screenwriters and industry creatives to naturally de-stress and get focused into their creative rhythm and flow, build tremendous confidence, and deepen their emotional worldview into wisdom and truth. That way they can hook every audience. So today's video is part of my Industry Wisdom Bit series where I'm bringing you professionals in television and film to share with us one golden nugget of wisdom or advice that they've come to learn that can maybe help you too. So today we're joined by Jordan Morris. Jordan, thank you so much for being here today. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, yeah, I am a writer and podcaster. As a writer, I mainly work in TV, but I'm starting to branch out and work in some other mediums as well, which is going to be part of my wisdom today.
Oh, beautiful. Awesome. So I know you have a lot of experience. So you must have a lot of wisdom, but could you just narrow it down to one gem for our audience today?
Yeah, something I have been thinking a lot about the past couple years is, kind of challenging myself not to get married to a medium. Um, I think that, if you're talking about fiction, at least, like great stories and great characters really like transcend medium. Just to give an example that everyone probably knows, like Spider-Man. Spider-Man started in comics, but there are many, many, many Spider-Man products that are very good. There are movies, there are TV shows, there's animation, there's live action, there's video games. So yeah, it's like that character in that world, was so memorable and specific that the medium stopped mattering as much. So I think that a lot of times as creative people, we have the medium we like to work in,
Mm.
um, you know, TV, film, books, what have you. Um, yeah, and I think sometimes when we have that great idea, that great story of those great characters, and we face a setback in one medium, like if you write a TV pilot and you show it to some production companies and nobody bites, then
Mm.
I think people, you know, get discouraged and they put it in the drawer and they, assume that it was a bad idea, or they assume that, no one will want it. Yeah. And I think that, entertainment is changing so much. That's a ice cold take, of course. But yeah, there's just so many ways to tell a story out there. And obviously some of them are more financially lucrative than others, but like, oh, and my cat's visiting us. Um, but yeah, so I think that but if you love a story and you love a character or a set of characters, like find some way to get their story out there. And I think that, like, obviously if you're in it for the paycheck, doing a movie is more lucrative than doing a podcast. But if you love the thing you came up with, uh, find some way to do it.
Yeah, I
Doing
like
it
that perspective that just don't limit yourself by what it is that you know and what medium that
right.
you're using. And that really explore, I think so much of today in this century that we're living in now is, don't let how we're supposed to live be the kind of the box that we keep ourselves in.
Yeah.
And so just kind of say, hey, I have this idea. Maybe I do want to make it a cartoon, and I never thought I would do that because I really kind of envisioned it to be real life people.
Right.
Or maybe it is going to be a cartoon book, or maybe it is going to be, a film instead of a TV pilot. So I love that just kind of expansive thinking about just being open to whatever medium it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. I mean, I have a friend and he had a sci-fi TV pilot that he thought was going to go, and he was having all these great meetings. And then, just because the industry is the industry, it fell apart. And now he's just taking that story and those characters and kind of releasing it chapter by chapter as a self-published ebook. And like, obviously he's not making $1 billion on this thing, but like, it's getting fans, it's getting traction. He's getting to create. He's
Who knows? It
releasing it
could be
the
the
way.
next Spider-Man. You never know.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of times, stuff has, there are strange roots, to success. So
Not
who
like
knows? Maybe that ebook will, find its way into the right hands, and the TV pilot will be back on again. So
right, exactly. I love it. I think it's more just kind of following your own inspiration and letting that story come out of you, no matter how
Yeah.
you want to, how it needs to come out. Making it certain that you stay true to you and getting that story out is the most important, and then letting it flow. So I'm sure the guy who wrote Spider-Man wasn't thinking it was going to be like every child was going to have Spider-Man capes and toys or whatever in their lives. I didn't think that he thought that, but certainly now it's just a huge, brand and story that so many people know. So
Yeah, totally.
wonderful, awesome. So tell us a little bit about what's going on with you now.
Yeah, so I have a graphic novel coming out. It is called Bubble. It is a sci-fi comedy. It is based on a podcast, so a lesson in being flexible with your medium there. Yeah, I co-wrote the script with a great comedy writer named Sarah Morgan. The art is done by a wonderful comics artist named Tony Cliff, who does the Delilah Dirk series. And the colors are by Natalie Reese, who does the Dungeon Critters series. It is, yeah, it's a ton of fun. I think the elevator pitch would be, it is maybe Search Party meets Guardians of the Galaxy. It's a bunch of kind of ill-equipped hipsters who are kind of being strangled by a sci-fi version of the gig economy, and they have to, fight monsters and robots and all these other kinds of sci-fi villains to survive. And yeah, it's not for kids. It's got a ton of sex jokes and gore and all the stuff I like. So yeah, it's coming out July 13th. And if you're watching or listening to this before then, you can pre-order it. So yeah, get on down to your local indie bookstore or comic book store and ask them for Bubble.
Sweet. And there's going to be all the links in the description box below the video for people to go check out and pre-order. And I think it's so important that, you're creating fun and play for adults,
Hmm.
because so much of
Yeah.
life has always been so serious. So how fun to read this kind of bubble book and get back into that little kid in us that just kind of wants to have fun and play again. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Hopefully it kind of like reminds you of, when you're a kid and you're reading comics, but with
Yeah,
some
exactly. With some
with some
adult
adult appropriate humor. So
exactly. I love it. Wonderful. Hey, well, Jordan, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us today and what's coming out with you. And everybody, feel free to pop on over to my website, Scream Right Now, and download your free ebook of 3 steps to get pitch ready. That way, you can get into alignment with you, your script, and your audience, and hook them. So, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see everybody on the next video. Thanks, Jordan.
thanks.